I'm a Teamster, I'm a retired Teamster, and I live on Social Security and a little pension from the Teamsters. I did work as a Teamster truck driver, and I drove also truck, not being a Teamster. There is a right we have in the Constitution that allows collective bargaining. And so whatever comes before the assembly, it would be a question of yes or no, because we are not actually the administration that is negotiating the contract. But it's got to be fair, and I think I'm a very fair guy. I'm not going to give money away for something that is not going to be done or needed to be done.
I am a member of 2 unions currently. They're both the retired employee chapters, so non-active employees. When a vote came before the assembly, I guess I would be asking the borough attorney for a read on that, but and then if I have a conflict of interest, as probably other members would, and then from there our body would make the decision as to whether those that do or do not have a conflict can go ahead and vote on it. I would think, though, that because it's a large pool and there's so many people in the community that are members of unions, that I would take the opinion right now is that we would be able to vote on a contract that came before us as an elected body.
All right, I don't have any current union affiliation. I've had a long and rough and varied working career. And at one point I worked for the Postal Service, and you didn't have a choice. You were a member of the union out there, and believe me, it's necessary, because the term going postal is not just an abstract term. And at the end of the pipeline, I joined the laborers union, and took a couple calls up on the pipeline as they were wrapping it up. And I want to say, but I don't have any affiliation with them now, but I want to say that after that experience, I was able to go to Anchorage for a week in a drillers and chuck tenders school run by the laborers union, free of charge. They put you up in a motel. We worked in a rock quarry half the time and had classroom and stuff the other half of the time. It was tremendous. It really opened my eyes to the role of the unions in training people, and that's what they're up to now. This is Alaska Works business. Training people for the next big project. And so, but at the moment, no, I have no affiliation. Thank you.
Well, if you called the Unpaid Mothers of the World Union, I'm one of those, but I don't have any other union affiliation. As we're required under our ethics ordinance, if we have a conflict of interest, we advise the presiding officer. He makes a decision, and we either vote on something or not. I would probably have no problem looking at any contract at all because I don't have any affiliation. Thank you.
David, just a simple yes or no. Does anybody seriously think that taxes are going to go down, no matter what you vote for?
No.
No.
No. That's a great question. No.
I guess no.
Maybe. Nope.
Okay, we came to the end, right? We're just about out of time. You're all going to get a 1-minute close, and the order is reversed, and therefore Kelly is going to speak first.
Sit down.
You can sit down or stand, but you better. Why don't you stay? Stay.
You're sitting down.
I'm a candidate that's a strong proponent of education and reasonable development. It was mentioned about what the unions are doing. I think the partnership between the borough, state, and the joint trade councils for the Pipeline Training Center is a wonderful opportunity for Fairbanks, not just educationally, but economic development. I support the relationship between the borough and the tourist industry. There's no doubt that that's an economy that we can grow in our community. And I'm Kelly Brown, I'm with CC, and I appreciate your support.
Well, again, thank you for allowing us to be here today to speak with you. I have to say one of the strongest things I believe in is economic development, the diversification of that. That will translate directly to what monies we receive in revenues, because the more businesses that are invested here in Fairbanks, the more revenues we get translates to the other things that we're looking for, quality education and quality of life for our citizens. So it's important that we look to all the different opportunities we have. The research at UAF, where we could translate that to, to economic development, to the forestry products that we have, to the cold weather testing area. All these things will benefit our borough residents through economic development and then translate to all the things we need. So then when we're looking for lower taxes for our homeowners and, relief for things, that's how we're going to get it. And we've got to be concerned about it now, or we're going to, end up not having anything to turn over to our kids. So please vote for me on Assembly Seat C. I appreciate your support.
Valerie's next.
Oh, thank you for listening to us, and I urge you to get out and vote and spend a lot of time looking at that sales tax ordinance and ballot proposition, and let us know what you think. The one thing that I did want to say about that is with the tax cap, if we reduce property taxes by the sales tax, we won't be increasing the budget. So I don't think that you have to worry about that it's not going to be a direct reduction in your property taxes. And I've been an assembly member now. This is going on my third term, going into my fourth, and I also served on the city council. I think I have a broad range of experience and believe that I can represent you fairly. Thank you for your vote.
Thank you. Guys, Hatley.
Well, thank you for the forum. This is the first get-together we've had. There's going to be, I guess, 4 or 5 more. KJNP, Arctic Alliance, and a couple of others, perhaps. I appreciate the forum, appreciate the opportunity. We've got 1 month to the election. It's going to be very tough to get the public's attention to this election, the municipal election, because the month of September is going to be totally filled with competing news events. For instance, various trials in Anchorage, problems in Washington. So it's going to take diligence, due diligence, to get people to attend to the local municipal thing. And advertising is going to be really tough. You might pay attention to the assembly meeting in the middle of September, because that's when there's an ordinance up for discussion, and I'm sure it'll fill the assembly chambers on the exemption from the property tax for the Drama Association. That'll be a contentious thing. I suspect it'll be a very close vote on the assembly. You ought to call your sitting assembly people, tell them what you think about that. It'll be a permanent exemption, not a one-year deal. It'll be a permanent exemption from property taxes. But I thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.
Tammy.
Hi, I love it here. I mean, I am running because if you have watched what I've done in the last year, I have tried to do whatever I can to try to get spending reduced, try to make it to where people who live here can afford the taxes. Because I go door to door, and it is awesome. You meet so many people, and they just want to be heard. And that's what we have to do, not just as candidates, but those who are sitting on the board. If we really want to know, sometimes you just have to go knock on the door and ask. And that's what I do, and that's what I bring back when I fight the different issues. It's not just what things are important to me, what's important to the community. And we have to have community involvement. We have to make sure that people who live here can raise their children, pay their taxes, and get great education for what they do. And I have 4 kids, 2 in college, 2 not right now, so I'm vested here, and it takes your involvement to make our government better. So I hope you vote on October 2nd for Tammy Wilson.
Actually, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and tell you what I believe. And what I feel is that the borough determines where money is spent and how money is collected. I've struggled most of my life raising a family, owning a home, being married, working job to job, and I know the importance of what a dollar is. And when these other families out there that are struggling day to day and earning that tax dollar that we're just talking about spending up here in the millions, I think we need people to understand what the value of that dollar is for each and every family out there that put into it. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I want. Thank you.